Excuse me, do you guys sell shoes here by any chance?
Unfortunately, the system says we're out of stock.
Can you check the
No, I cannot check the back.
It's up.
iNovly, we need you over here to the front. They call you over there. Yeah, so these kids are messing around. We're gonna need you to deal with that. Last time I checked, I didn't sign up to be a janitor. Retail jobs made absolutely no sense by Where's Yav.
Welcome to working retail. The place where you tell people you don't have it in the back, yet they still insist you go check it anyways. However,
That is some of the dumbest stuff in the entire world. Already being bothered while you're just sitting there stalking things, or even as a cashier. If somebody's gonna come up to you and be like, yo, got this, and I tell you no, or better yet, you literally have a device sitting there, look it up. No, we don't got it. I mean, just check in the back. You never, no, I have the device right here. It tells me we don't got, do I work here or do you?
in this stupidity, you will meet some fire coworkers, deal with hella angry customers yelling at you, and most importantly,
Karens, bro.
start making money. Just to end up spending it on more shit you don't need. One major factor to actually getting this paycheck though, is developing the ability to tolerate mass amounts of nonsense. That way you actually keep your job so you can get paid. Then some time goes by, and you're not working retail anymore, when you only now realize how much nonsense you actually tolerated just to get paid peanuts. Like, I remember getting my first retail job. Like, I'm talking middle of high school, 10th grade, $0 to my name, so I decided to apply to every damn store I possibly could. Back then, I didn't know how niggas were getting jobs, so my ass got creative and posted a video of myself on some recruitment page on my local mall's website. Surprisingly, it worked, and I actually managed to land my first interview. Job interviews in general are always fucking terrible, but retail job interviews were somehow always worse.
Any job interview, it's just like a competition of how good you can lie, bro. Like, that's really what it feels like. Any job interview, you were sitting there presenting yourself lying like crazy. Bro, I'm a terrible communicator. I get irritated very easily, and I'm very antisocial. Put me in a job interview, I'm the most agreeable person. I have a very, very, very high temper, and I'm genuinely the most patient person there is. Why? Because I want to get paid. That was the mindset as a high schooler who wanted to get their first paycheck working at, I think my first job was like
First, you gotta pull up to the store looking like a complete and utter dumbass because you don't know where the hell you're going. Then you have to tell the cashier that you're here for your interview, in which she has no idea what you're talking about, so she proceeds to tell her coworker, who also has no idea what you're talking about, so finally they go get the manager. Once the manager arrives, the interview always started one of two ways. One, she takes you to the back and sits you down, where she proceeds to interrogate the living shit out of you. Two, she takes you to some damn corner on the floor instead. Now you're not only being asked the most confusing questions in your life, but you're also being watched by everyone in that damn store, including
oh my, that has to be some of the most awkward feeling stuff in the entire world, but you feel like a literal zoo exhibit looking at you dead in your face as you're sitting here being asked, yeah, so how is your communication skills actually? Because right here we see at your last job, you actually ran out somebody screaming that you don't give a damn about any Karen and you can get another job, as some middle-aged mom and her two kids walk by looking at you being like, damn.
Customers. He then proceeds to ask you the typical trick questions like, tell me about yourself, aka what experience do you have doing this job, or how are you with multitasking, aka are you fine with working 8 different job descriptions at once, in which at this age you're going to answer incorrectly every single damn time. I remember once I responded by saying, my name's David, I like playing sports, I enjoy helping people, I play games, in which she stared at me with the straightest face possible. You would have thought I was about to turn to stone. If you get unlucky, some jobs will bring you to the personality phase, which genuinely makes you question what the hell you're even applying for. I remember one time I was mid-interview for a clothing store, and the nigga goes,
Would it be a home appliance? Which one would you be?
what the fuck? I looked at him like, bro,
I wouldn't even know how to respond to something like that. I was a home appliance. 2 seconds ago, you were asking me what my greatest skills were, and I told you I could barely stock a shelf. Now you're trying to figure out how you could place me on a kitchen couch. Like, that's the most random things in the entire world. But they asked you the most random stuff anyway, bro.
I'm trying to be a sales associate where I fold shirts and pants. This isn't fucking Home Depot. What job role did I apply for? Where am I? After realizing I didn't know how to answer this question, he excitingly goes,
I'll go first. I'd be a fridge, because what you put in is what you get out.
Nigga, if you don't get the Eventually, the questions stop and your interview comes to an end, where the manager would tell me I'm hired and she's excited to see me on Thursday. I remember hearing I got the job and I was so excited. My mind was already racing, thinking about all the shit I'm about to buy with that first paycheck. Little did I know, I was about to be traumatized for the rest of my life. If you work in a retail job where there's a lot of people, you'll probably have a decent training process where you actually learn how to do things properly. But if you work in a smaller store in the mall, fuck no. The store I got hired at primarily sold shoes and at a point had clothes as well. And looking back at it, training may have genuinely been hell on earth. You go from shadowing your assistant manager on how to make shoe displays to being a janitor cleaning the toilets in the damn washroom. The worst part about training is that it's ongoing when the store is busy as shit. Like, I remember she would be in the middle of explaining how to do something in which a customer would come ask her how to find the fucking second derivative of the shoe. All of a sudden you hear,
Excuse me.
from behind you, where you turn around and realize a customer is now coming to ask you a question.
Do you know if these shoes are good for your heels?
Now you have to look at her as if you're a fucking deer in the headlights, because you don't even know what she just asked you. Yeah, I think, no, they're good. Matter of fact, they're great. In which she says,
Oh, really? Because you don't really seem too sure.
after awkwardly
Questions like that cooked me at any grocery store, bro. Getting hired at a grocery store and not knowing where anything is one of the most humbling experiences in the entire world, bro. Sitting there being shadowed or helping somebody out, and then all of a sudden they have to go and do something. Somebody comes up to you and asks you where something's at a different aisle, and you have no idea. That happened to me too often when I was at my first job, because I don't know the layout of the store. And I'm asking people, yeah, how long did it take you? Oh, like 2 days, maybe like a week. 2 days to a week?
staring at each other for what felt like 10 minutes, your coworker comes to save you and proceeds to assist the lady. Finally, your assistant manager comes back, where you proceed to follow the same drown under the water training scheme, aka free ball, until things start making sense. They never started making sense. Retail schedules have always been the most confusing thing known to man, considering the fact that you either get too many shifts all over the place or got absolutely no shifts at all. It ain't like a regular job that has a consistent set schedule. You know, pull up at 8, leave at 4, Monday through Friday. You actually get a say in your schedule by providing your availability, is what I thought. For some reason, every time I had to give my availability to my manager, at least 4 of those days would have to be available per week, and half of those needed to be closing shifts. They would always tell niggas that your availability didn't necessarily mean you were guaranteed to get scheduled on every single shift. What they didn't tell you is this would only actually occur as long as they had closers in the first place. Now you have your schedule in which Monday to Wednesday you're written.
Being a closer for any job is terrible when you have school, bro. Working at the movie theaters, having to close there often was hell on earth, because it doesn't matter when you say your availability is, bro. Even if I was to put it at the max or the lowest and you get closing, they are going to make sure you are there often. Anytime you get asked, yo, can you work closing? Lie. No, you can't actually, because once you say yes, that just makes everybody else's life easy and your life miserable.
Till 9:30 p.m., aka till the store's clean, because you would never actually leave on time. And if you're lucky, you might get a morning shift on Saturday. And don't even get me started on schedules during holiday season in retail jobs. That shit would literally take years off of niggas' lives. My job liked to con the term blackout season, which literally meant you just couldn't take any time off during that said time frame. Excuse me? Like, you mean to tell me my retail job is that serious? I absolutely have to come in? Like, it would be the beginning of the winter, and so because Boxing Day is right around the corner, instead of spending Christmas season with your family, you're now in aisle 4, stacking boxes of shoes on top of each other while listening to the worst Christmas remixes of all time. What kind of system is that? Because
any schedule where they say you are not allowed to take off for certain days is insane, bro. I had a manager come up to me and tell me, yeah, you only really get one holiday you could take off. So which one do you want it to be? You don't have to say it now, but just let me know by the end of this week. By the end of this week, and most of the time you're gonna take off whatever you actually want to. Because in all reality, who's gonna tell you, bro? Most people is just waking up that day, either putting on a fake ass yeah, no, I can't come in. Or they're gonna answer that phone, and when they call you, you're gonna answer it, be like, yeah, I can't come in. hang up. And you just play it fast and loose and just hope for the best. Hey, they don't fire you, that's great. They do fire you, I guess it's off to the next job.
God forbid they just coordinate properly with the team and actually schedule people who would like to work. Granted, we were a smaller store, so it may have been a little bit harder to find people, but I'm sure some niggas would have still wanted the time and a half if they would just ask. Around this season was always peak time for the Hall of Fame opening shifts, which were literally 2 shifts back to back, causing you to close the store, get home, go to bed, and wake up and go straight back to the store again. I don't even know why this existed, considering the fact that they can literally just schedule someone else, but I mean, shit, what do I know? Dealing with customers in any job is always fucking terrible. However, retail customers may cause you to cry yourself to sleep. I couldn't tell you the amount of customers that would come in and ask the most dumbass questions you genuinely question how they even made it this far in life to begin with.
Excuse me, do you guys sell shoes here by any chance? Excuse me, where can I find the light 'em ups? Excuse me, can you check if you have this in a size 9?
Sure. Unfortunately, the system says we're out of stock.
Can you check the
No, I cannot check the back.
It's almost like as soon as customers stepped into a retail store,
The brains of customers instantly turned off, and he is not even over exaggerating. I can guarantee you he has been asked actually all of those questions. Big bright signs, bro. Working out of movie theaters, big bright signs telling you the numbers of the theaters. You tell them where to go and they'll still find a way to not get there, bro. How is your brain that smooth? How is your brain that small? I am speaking from actual experience, or being directly in an aisle, looking dead at an item in the frozen aisle. I'm looking at the frozen chicken, you know, stalking it myself. A person comes up to me and asks me where the frozen chicken's at, as I'm holding one in my hand, as I'm looking at the display I'm packing. You better either be blind, or actually there's no in between. There is no other thing. That's the only correct thing that could be happening in those moments.
brain straight turned to mush and didn't even know how to function anymore. Then you had kids. And for the record, kids are great and one of the most beautiful things on this planet Earth. But in retail stores, fuck no. Like somehow every time a kid was in the store, not only are they yelling their ass off, screaming, crying, but their parents are somehow nowhere to be found, and the kids proceeding to kick every single possible box of shoes on the ground. Even in the
funny part about all that is, especially if you were a new hire, guess who's cleaning all that up? You are, bro. These kid comes through, rampages through the store, knocks down a bunch of fruit, smashes it, stepping all over it. iNovly, we need you over here to the front. They call you over there. Yeah, so these kids were messing around. We're gonna need you to deal with that. Last time I checked, I didn't sign up to be a janitor, but it doesn't matter, because that's why they asked you, are you good at multitasking? Because guess what? Your task wasn't this to begin with, but it is now. And then you're gonna have to do that repeatedly for the next couple of months.
Cases where the parent was around, they would have a kid on a big ass stroller that for whatever reason could barely fit through the aisle, and somehow absolutely bulldoze every single shoe in that area, and then leave it on the floor, making you have to clean it up. Because I was a sales associate, or I guess you could say product specialist, I would have to have knowledge on our shoes so that when customers asked me the question, I didn't look like a complete idiot. However, there were always those customers that asked the most niche questions of all time.
Do you know if these are good for plantar fasciitis?
I don't know, I'm not a doctor.
Do you know if my gym floor in my local neighborhood would allow these shoes?
I don't know, I don't work at your gym.
Do you know if you could file my taxes?
What?
Do you know if these shoes are less than 37% polyester, 45% rubber, 2% plastic, 3% dog, machine washable, maybe recyclable? Are they good for the environment?
Yo.
Your retail store manager not only determines your sanity during your working hours, but also determines how long you would be staying at that fucking job. You would think that because they were hiring high schoolers, they would be a little more understanding. However, if you're like me, you've dealt with some of the most corrupt managers of all time. Niggas would show up one singular minute late, and then the next thing you know, they're on the verge of giving you a write-up. Or it'll be the end of your midday shift, where you're finally packing up and you're about to go home. When you're about to leave the store, the manager looks at you square in the face and goes,
Where are you going?
home?
You can't leave until your section's clean.
What the fuck? You'll be chilling at your boy's crib when all of a sudden you get a notification on your phone talking about your schedule has been updated. After unlocking your phone and opening the app, you realize you're now supposed to be opening tomorrow morning instead of starting at 5 p.m. because your plans never mattered. And I dare you to ever try and tell your manager that you can't make it to your shift. The way she finna look at you before she utters the classic, then you'll need to get someone to cover your shift. Fuck! Like, this is
not my job, bro. That's not in my job description. I'm letting you know that I'm not going to be at work, so you could figure that out. Not on me anymore. Working at a place where you know they literally hire any and everybody because a bunch of people don't want to work there or quit too often, so they didn't even have the chance to fire you if they want to, makes it 20 times funnier. To tell them that you're not going to be there, because what are they going to do? They're going to fire you? Not if they can't. They literally can't. It's you, one middle-aged mom, and one struggling teen. They fire you, then they know they're gonna have to work even harder. And they're not gonna wanna do that.
Core reason why niggas would literally always call in sick. What do you mean I need to find someone to cover my shift? Lady, that is literally your job, not
Exactly.
mine. Then there was the performance improvement plan, also known as a PIP form, which was basically their way of saying you suck and you need to do better. However, they can simply place you on these whenever they feel fit, despite it serving no truth whatsoever. As soon as managers would run into someone that they just didn't like, this could not have any relation to the job. They just don't like them as a person. They would waste no time trying to get niggas on that damn PIP paper. All in all, retail jobs probably go down as one of the worst kind of jobs to work of all time. You have to deal with the most ridiculous interviews, training will give you a genuine headache, customers and managers never make any sense, blah blah blah. All of this just to get a measly paycheck of a few $100 every 2 weeks. Luckily for me, back then when I worked there, it was full of high schoolers and young adults that were still in post-secondary. However, in today's economy, I'm starting to see a lot more grown-ass people consistently working in retail. I mean, you tell me, do you think retail jobs are as bad as they are due to no one actually wanting to work there to begin with? Or is it just the people being unnecessarily annoying and feeling the need to control others as they please? I gotta cut this shit off, man. I'm starting to sound crazy again, bro.
W video and retail jobs are just always notoriously sucky for everybody involved. That is just how I feel though. If you want to tell me how you feel, the best place to know would be the comment section down below. If you want to support this original creator, don't worry because this video is in my description. But if you want to support me, then you could definitely give this video a like and also subscribe, hit that notification bell because you'll be notified the millisecond a video goes live. That's enough for me. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace out.